It's hard to believe that when I first started my Building with Casey series, we had just an island. This has evolved so much into fields of crops, gatehouses, custom cliff faces, even nature parks. And we can't forget the factory that produces sludge, or rather, transforms the sludge into usable blocks. But it was our most recent build that I am super proud of, and that's this manor house right here. Alrighty folks, I'm Casey and welcome to Building with Casey. Today, I know what big project we are going to tackle. You see, when we leave Lord Sparkle's kingdom, this is my buddy, another player on this server's kingdom. When we leave that kingdom and we enter into hers, it's got this lovely island that we built. And you get this gatehouse, which is a sense of this is where we need to go. This is the entrance to the city. Let's go that way. Then we travel to the other side of our city, right to where the wife's builds are. And she has this to look at for our kingdom. It's not even touching the ground. No wonder she keeps complaining at me about having a floating base. She says the city's floating, it's got holes in it. It's appalling. But there's nothing here. Like, I've got an idea of the layout, but we haven't done anything to give some sort of merger from our land to the wife's land. So we need to build a gatehouse over here. This one isn't going to be as grand as the one we built on the other side. This one's going to be very slightly different. It's going to be another keep, but I want to do one right here so we get the sense of where we can go into the city. I also want to start a pathway down to her, and I also want to put in some sort of border. So I've got an idea that we'll come down here. We'll have a field of crops here, smaller than we do on the other side, a bit smaller. And we'll have them drop down one. And then we'll have some sort of pathway that leads down a cliff face into like a wooded area, because my wife wants trees and wood in her area. So we'll blend it with wood as opposed to a river. And then we'll do a little tent. Yes, a tent. So I'm looking forward to this episode. I really, really am. So if that's something you think you're going to enjoy, do me a favor, leave the video a like, hit subscribe, and let's get in to the episode. So this is where the portcullis will go, the entranceway. We're still going to have that curved entrance, and I do still want this to be a very grand build, just not quite like the other one is. I want them to be different. Originally, I'll be honest, I was just going to put the exact same build here. But then I started thinking about it. It was like, no, I've developed the law. I know what the law is. And so this one, for the law, needs to be different. So the law of the law is a law. Is a law. I thought the law and the law won. I thought the law and a law won. I thought the law and a law won. Okay, everybody is tuned out now because I cannot sing. Back to work. Step one has been done. We've got this initial design. I'm now going to go in and add some more of the finer details to bring it more to life. But there are going to be other bits attached to it. But I want to get this center bit done first, with the archway leading into our village. You know, when it comes to Minecraft, I truly do enjoy building. This is what it's become. It's went from that ugly monstrosity to this, and I really, really like this. It looks so cool. Ignore the missing wall, as we'll ignore the other missing wall. But we got a flag on it. We got some windows in it. We got a little bit of gold in there. We got the portcullises. We got doors. Whoops, mistakes have been made. Boom. Boom. And that. Yeah. Let's go with that. Let's do that quick. Did I do it this side? Oh, you have to do it this side. There we go. That looks better. Got a little chandelier. It's got the lanterns. I love these lanterns. I'm falling in love with these lanterns. I really, really am. I raised the roof up a little bit over here too, so it sort of like goes up now instead of just being flat. Just add a little bit of variation. I think it really does the trick. These add a bunch of like mustaches, as I like to call them, and they just look really good. I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to have something different on this one to this one, so I didn't want to have a bunch of windows on this one. And we had this, and this looks so cool. I'm so happy with it. Yup. And now I will turn my attention to this side. Let's chat for a while. I actually want to talk to you guys a moment, because I often get asked, like, how do I build things like this? And it's really easy. And people, and I say that to people like, no, it's not easy. It's so complex. And it's like, no. If you try and build this block for block, it starts to get complex. But if you devise a system, it's actually really easy. And I'm going to talk you guys through the way that my system works. So the first thing I like to do is I like to get a visual in mind. So this is a rough outline of what the shape will look like. You can do this in the blocks you're going to use like we have done here, or you can do this in any other block. It doesn't really make a difference. You've just got to build your outline. And I like this. And I've got visions for what's going to go on the outside, but I'll talk about those in a moment. Now I know that the wall that goes around our city is actually going to run into this build, so I need to decide where that's going to go. So I could put it here in line with this, and a lot of people are like, yeah, let's put it in line, that way symmetry is good. And symmetry is good, you know, we've got the same thing on this side as we do this side, but also breaking up straight lines is good as well. So me, I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to put the wall coming out here. I'd like a little bit of a jut back, maybe about 3 blocks or so, then I'm going to have the wall come out. That's how I would do it. Now, let's get on to this, because I want to do the roof first, because I've got an idea for how I want this roof to look, and I need to know if the shape is right. And the roof is actually going to be pretty cool. And what I like to do is I always like to start with just like maybe 3 or 4 blocks of the roof like this, and then I'll work my way up to the shape that I want. And just with that on, I'm starting to get a feel for what this will look like. Now, it'll look a lot better once it's been brought all the way back. But right now, this looks good. But what about this front bit here? Because this is not the way that I want it. And I've got some ideas for this. So I'm going to start by just simply adding a block in front of each of the stairs. That way we get the kind of jutty artifact in front of the stairs. So the roof feels like it's recessed a little bit. And then I'm going to work on it. So I think what I want to do is I want to do upside down stair. Here, a different type of block, followed by a barrier and a slab. Now the thing is, I don't want these to connect, so I'm just going to whack that with a carpenter's hammer. And then I would like this to be a thick post. And then, oh, I do not actually have any infernal blocks on me. So I'm just going to grab an infernal block real quick. And these carpenter's barriers allow me to put anything on them. So what about that? Do I like that? You know what? No, I don't like that. So I get rid of it. And I will just try a couple of combinations until I find something I like. It may very well be that I end up liking something really simple like that. Which, spoiler alert, I don't. And in this case, the very next thing I tried was the thing that worked. I've got a little bit of a stair here, not a stair here, a fence here, and just this infernal slab on top. I like the idea of these infernal slabs just breaking up the thing, and I'm only looking at this part of the roof here. Because looking at it like this, I do quite like it, but this is quite a boring plain face right here. But we'll work on this at another time. So now I'm going to repeat this over there, and I'm going to get the roof brought all across. And there is your roof. Simple, easy, and done. Now I want to move on to the walls. And we already know that they're going to be this, so I'm going to just fill all of them in to begin with. Now that we have this big black block, we can do some things with it. I'm thinking of doing some indents with spruce wood up the top. I'm thinking a little old door right here. Maybe a bay window out the front right here. And where am I getting all these ideas from? Well, it's a mixture of 2 places, really. Because one, I will look around places that I go. I go to a lot of cities. I see a lot of cities. I see a lot of architecture there. And I'm like, that looks really cool. I want to build it. I'll take a picture on my phone. I put it in a folder on my computer. And all of them are labeled possible Minecraft builds. Another place that I go is, well, social media. When I'm scrolling through Insta, I'll see some Minecraft builds. I'm like, I like that. And I'll save it. And I won't build that build because it's somebody else's build. But there are things in it that inspire me. And I got the idea for this build from that. So, that's just some places that you can go. Now, like I said, I do want to put a bay window on the front here to break up this face. But also over here, I want to put an old door. Because the lore is, of this land, is originally, before my people came here, a family had this keep and a family would have had this keep. They went to war and, you know, the fallout meant that they're no longer around. So I do want this keep to sort of have shades of this was once a keep, so we can put like a door that used to be here, but now we want to control the entrance to our city through this gate, so we've boarded up the door. So now I've gone and I've added in the door. We've got a window in, and we could bring this down one more. We could bring the slabs across there, but I don't want to do that. I like this. I think this looks good. We've kept the roof here very similar to the roof that we've got up there. But as you can see, we've got a long way to go to get up there. There's so much space here to play with. And I'm not going to film everything that I do because the video will be a million hours long. But I'm just going to take what we've done here, just coming up with little ideas and adding them in. And one thing I do want to do, I think it looks really nice. If we take these out and we take these carpenter's stairs, you can actually place the carpenter's stairs sideways like this. And then we can put the basalt block on them. And it gives that rounded kind of feel, and I think that'll look a lot better. After a couple of hours of building, I've applied that exact same logic that I've just told you about. And we've got... what up for pressed F1 and not the screenshot button? We've got this. It's a little bit simple, but I like it. It looks really nice. Over here is again simple. This is where the wall will run into it. And of course, there's going to be something coming out of this side, so I haven't gone all the way down here. But overall, I really do like this. And now we get to go on to the next bit, which I'll be honest was going to be this bit right here. But I'm not liking it all that much. I need to really think about this bit some more. I do a little bit more. Do something. The tower is way too big. We might need to shrink that down a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this side of the castle, or rather this side of the keep. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put here, but I've got a few ideas. Okay, this time I did the build a little bit differently. I wanted to get an idea for exactly how I wanted it to look, and it's taken me a couple of hours, but I do now have like a footprint in place. So we're going to have another building here, very much like this one, with a tower on the side right here. The wall is going to come out here. We're going to have a turret style here, along with another smaller turret right here. A little bit of a wall with two doors and a gate on it. Also, we're going to have this diagonal wall. Now, diagonals are something that I need to start doing more in Minecraft. And I just didn't want another square like what we had over here. We've got this square right here. That's fine. This one, I wanted to be slightly different. And I'm not sure if the footprint of this is the same size as the footprint of that. I'm actually going to go and check it from like this corner all the way to this corner. But I do know that this block right here is the exact center. So I know exactly where my center is now. Because I want to put a market stall in the center, but that's a future episode. That's a future episode. Right now, it's this. So I'm going to start breaking this down into segments. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments to do. And I think I want to start with this particular segment right here. I've done some more work. You can see as we come through the main entrance now, we've got it done. I kept it quite simple, but you definitely know this is a gate. You can go through it like so. I like this. It's very, very simple in comparison to that, but that's okay. Sometimes going with something a little bit simple is better. And there's one thing I did do. I changed out the corners. I didn't like them in the end rounded. So I went with this dark wood, and I also added in some below this window just to bring it in a little bit. And I think this actually rounds this off much better, and I like it, and I'm super happy with it. So I did actually do that before the last clip. I just forgot to show it off. So now that I've done this, I want to turn my attention to this bit right here. As we enter into the courtyard, as you do, it's done. I put a roof on it. I've kept it simple again like this. We can have some cool fancy towers anyway. We've got this, and we've got this. It's going to be fancy. But yeah, it's the same on both sides. We've got these dark leaves. I did not change those out. I didn't realize those were there. I've gone and changed out the ghost leaves for dark leaves just to give it this more evil feel. This would probably be the evil family that lived here, whereas the good family lived over there, you know, or the one that's on the righteous side of things and the one that's not. From this distance, that always looks like purple, and I go close and I'm like, oh no, it is red. I've definitely checked it. It is red. But I keep thinking it's purple. Right. Now this is done. This is done. I'm going to tackle this, and then we've only got 3 more things to do. And with this tower in, it's looking even better, look. Got the flag on top. I wasn't going to do the flag, actually. I was going to do it when I did the flag on top of there. There's going to be a flag on this one and a flag on this one. I don't know if I'm going to put a flag on that one yet or not. But I like it. I've kept it simple. We've got a little bit of the red in there. It looks good. little bit of the iron bars with the red glowstone behind it. Some spruce fences at the bottom, dark oak fences at the top. On this side and this side, we've got spruce. But if we go over here, it switches to dark oak here and here. The rose bushes, just to give it a pop of colour, I was trying to find some way of bringing some more detail into it without adding too much to it. I'm trying to find other ways of doing detail. I think if I was going to do anything different, I would have actually lowered this one. But if I did that, that would make it, actually it would work on this side. But I'm not going to go and do that just for the sake of one block. It's fine the way that it is. So I like it, very simple roof. And I like the fact that, you know, you can see everything sort of peering over as we go around. And more so, if we fly all the way over onto this side and you go down, you can actually see that flag as you're coming in. You get like little peaks of it over there. So I quite like that. Now my next job is going to be to tackle this tower. Sometimes you get in that building mood and you just kind of get a little bit carried away, and that's exactly what I've done. So not only did I finish this tower, and this tower like I said I was going to do, but I also did a significant portion of this. So for the most part, this keep is finished. I love it. I love it. We've got KC in the windows, but the orchids kind of eyed the bottom of the C and the bottom of the K, so they're hidden away, which was not intended. And we've got this one over here, which I really like, this tower. I really do like this tower. I think it's so simplistic, but it also looks elegant as well. We just got it all done. And look, we got a little balcony out here with a door that should not be open. Okay. Yes. Nope. 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 Yes. 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 And we got this simple down here. Over here. I'm not sure why they're there. Now, I know that over here I tested out a little bit of texture variation. I like the ash block texture variation better than the coal block. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do this all over yet. It's something that I'm just going to keep my eye on and see if I like it better or if I like it like this better. I'm thinking this, but that's a much later problem. But I do have some good news. This episode, if all goes according to plan, will be the last episode filmed with the current process. So if you've been following this series, I've been complaining because essentially I don't get great frames. I mean, I'm getting 70 something over here. But when we move over to our base, as we get closer and closer over here, the frames do tend to drop off to about 20 to 30 frames. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that I'm chunk loading quite a few things below the surface, like my big reactor. Also over here, it gets really, really framey. You can see we just plummet with frames over here. And that's all I think due to my processor. I have like a i7 6000 something or other, something like that. I'm not sure the exact numbers. It's outdated. It's old. I now have a 14K F-i9. Or at least I will do. I've got to put the PC together yet. I got to put the parts together. I got a new motherboard, which needs new RAM, which I got that. I got a new hard drive. I got a new things. They're all over in the corner of my office. I've just got to build it. But I wanted to finish this episode off before I started tinkering my computer in case there was any problems. But now there's one more thing that I want to do. I want to move inside and do the courtyard. I do actually want to have this courtyard looking nice before the end of the day. I want to have some paths going over here, some paths going over there. And I really, really have my heart set on a couple of custom trees in here. I don't know why, I really want to do some custom trees in here. I think it's going to look so cool. So I'm going to get a start on that. So I've got the tree in place. You can see it just as you come through the doorway here. Absolutely grand. I love this tree. I'm getting better at building trees, and I'm really happy with the way that my building skills with trees are coming along. I still think that I've got a long way to go, but I definitely do like this tree. I think it feels really, really nice. Fills up the space really good. And I even added in these little planter pots over here. Well, I say planter pots, they're more like little hedges. And I moved these up to put them in the cauldron. Not sure if I'm going to keep the cauldron or not. I don't know. But that is the tree. Okay, as the sun sets, let's talk for a little while. I just want to touch briefly. One, I've upgraded my computer between the last clip and this clip. I wasn't going to do it, but I found that I ended up going to bed early and I just had some free time over the weekend where I really couldn't work on my Minecraft world. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to upgrade my computer. May as well. And the second thing is, this channel is going to be broken down into two series. We're going to have the building with KC series, which is this, which I'm going to focus more on the building aspect than anything else. Just building up the world and creating all of the buildings that we want. And then another series that I'm thinking I might call Loring with KC or Lore with KC, which we're going to go around and we're going to detail the builds even further and add more lore. So interiors, little blank spaces like the courtyard down there, I'm going to fill them in on the lore with KC episodes. I just think that it would create a better story. Like, take this island, for example. We created a story about this island, which the episode still hasn't aired at the time of recording this episode, but it probably is up by the time this episode goes up. And we added this here, the puddle, which seems to have a very glitched out texture for some reason, but I quite like it. This just shows the lore of this puddle right here. And we got the characters, and I think that doing the lore episodes allows me to take the time to be able to create the stories that I want to tell and add just the tiny little details like this little thing over here with this chest in front of it. Now, when I upgraded my computer, I did take a little bit of time to mess around with the settings to get things the way I want them. And I like the fact that we stand right here. This is going to be the center of our village. And if we stand right here, we can see both keeps either side. And I like that. But if we fly over to one keep and we stand in the doorway of said keep, so if we stand right here, we should just be able to see our other keep as a silhouette in the distance. Now, my computer is capable now of going up even higher because we're only on 26. We can go all the way up to the max, and that brings it completely into view. But I like this aesthetic here where you just kind of get it peering over the fog. I like that, and that's what I kind of wanted. So I played around until I got this just right. And as you can see, we're getting like 100 and some frames. Oh, we're dropped now. But we get well over 100 frames now, which is absolutely freaking amazing. I am getting 200 when I'm not recording. And if I put the render distance down to the normal, I get even more. And when my wife's not on, I get even more. So frames for days. I think we get like when I'm playing solo, I get 100 over there. It's great. It's great. So this episode, my goal was to create an entrance to our village for my wife to be able to use. This is a keep of a former family that used to live here. It's got towers and walls. We stated our claim with our flags. And as we descend into my wife's realm, she can see the entrance to our city. Heading inside, there is a custom tree to be seen in all its shaded glory. And that is where I'm going to bring this episode to a close. So do me a favor, if you've enjoyed the video, leave it a like, hit subscribe, consider checking out my other channels, and as always, I'm Casey, you're the awesome folk. Thank you so much for watching now. Take care. Bye.
Living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change. Play the game that we say. I need a break.